Hi, I'm Cristy, and welcome to the Journey to TEDx. This is where people get to discuss the process of what they are doing before they get onto that red circle. And we are having a big TEDx coming to Wilmington on April 29th. This is our headliner that I'm speaking to today. I mean, he just found out that he's going to be the last speaker of the day. And I am so excited because you know what? He thinks everybody's going to be exhausted by this time. No, everybody's going to be reinvigorated as soon as this man starts speaking. Mr. Dan Vega, welcome. Thank you so much for taking time to speak to me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
I'm super excited. It's going to be such a fun-filled, packed weekend, first off, but we have 25 speakers speaking that day. It's amazing, right? And I just think that by the end of this, when they get to 24, people are just going to be so mind blown by all the impressive minds that are going to be gracing that stage. But I'm serious. I've seen you speak several times now, and you blow me away like every single time. So
Generally, when you're the 24th speaker, this is kind of how you come. People are like this. And my wife said that when I do events, I'm kind of like a blind shot putter or javelin thrower. I'm not going to break any records, but it'll keep you on your toes. So
that's true.
we hope for.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Real quick. For anybody that actually doesn't know, shame on them, but tell them a little bit about who you are, what you do.
Yeah, that's interesting. So just an entrepreneur from Los Angeles. And what do I do? So we own a private equity fund, and we're partners in an investment bank. And so over the years, we've either built or bought companies. So we own equity in over 100 companies, and we I think that's our money thing that gives us the resources to do what we really want to do. We just try to impact others and make a difference. We truly try to get involved with causes, and to get involved with people and to try to do things that will, make the world a better place, as grandiose as that may seem. I think a lot of people have that intention of, I want to impart a gift. I want to do something, that betters mankind. I want to bring a solution to or specified knowledge to a certain field. But one of the challenges is the resources, because look, our first goal should never be about the money, right? We should always be about being others focused and providing real value to people and being subservient leaders, right? Putting other people's needs above our own. So money should never be the first goal, but it should at least be on the first hand, right? And I think sometimes we don't put enough emphasis on what a useful tool that is. And it's necessary to create a big impact, because look, if our vision is to impact tens of thousands of people or potentially millions, fact of the reality is it's going to take millions of dollars to do that. So we do have our money mechanisms, and we do have businesses that bring us the resources, but it's not for the self-gratification or having more garages full of cars. It's about having the appropriate actual resources to expand the things that are important to us and the things that we want to get involved in. And that's really what my talk has to do with. The title is Money, Morals, and a Global Impact: How to Have Your Cake and Eat It Too. So we're going to talk about
I love that.
the relationship between money and morals, and how to actually have a global impact. But there's going to be a hidden responsibility that many of us are not aware of. And we're going to give a couple of really specific points away that are necessary to be able to not only reach people, but have the resources to reach a broad spectrum of people.
That's amazing. That's what I would say your title is. You are a gift giver. You give these incredible gifts, these incredible nuggets. I remember explaining to somebody, I said, talking with Dan Vega, it's like you already know the recipe to make chocolate chip cookies, but your chocolate chip cookies aren't really that decent. They're okay. And then all of a sudden you talk with Dan and he's like, did you add the salt? And you're like, the salt. Oh my gosh. And like you just give those incredible nuggets that take it from this level to this level. And it's extraordinary. Thank you so much, sir.
Very kind. That used to be my slogan years ago in the seminar business is Dan Vega, magic cookie. That was all they needed to know. It was like, no, but you said something really interesting, Tia, about imparting a gift. You know, I spent years in the seminar business and helping many people become, you know, speakers, national speakers. But my goal has never been to be a dynamic, powerful speaker. I meet a lot of entrepreneurs and they even ask me, can you show me how to be a dynamic, powerful speaker? And I'll help them do some of those things. But it's never been a personal goal. Because if you think about it, I've hired over the years many over the top, dynamic, you know, people in terms of speaking ability. And my team is like, this is mind blowing. These people are amazing. Bob was amazing. That night for dinner, I said, well, tell me specifically what you liked about Bob's talk. Oh, he was so over the top energy, this, that. I said, well, what did he speak on? Wasn't he the one that talked about SEO and blah, blah, blah? No, that was the speaker before him. Was he the one that talked about working in your passion? No, that was after him. Like they don't remember what he spoke of, and they don't have any, they're not better for it, right? So being a dynamic speaker is one thing, and it certainly fulfills the need for, you know, accolades, and you feel good about yourself. But my thing is, what gift did you impart? So do we want to be a dynamic speaker, or do we want to master the art of teaching? Because mastering the art of being an effective teacher, first of all, it's a skill set. So anybody can do. We might naturally have the gift of gab, but we can learn how to master the art of teaching. And what that has to do with, as you know, I think you're one of the best at it, is really touching people heart to heart. It's really showing them your heart and touching them so deeply that it makes an impression, it makes an input that actually gives them a slight pivot, where that new pivot now over a certain distance or period of time, it puts them on a completely new trajectory. I mean, they're a changed person. And so that's really should be all of our goals is, you know, I'm going to come out on stage and my first priority is I want to impart a gift. I want to make an impression. I want to impart a gift on people so they're a changed person and potentially will put them on a new trajectory for long-term sustainable behavioral change, which is a need and desire of all of us. So I don't know that I'm not going to put them to sleep. I don't know how dynamic I'll be by the 24th speaker, but I'm pretty confident I can at least, hopefully, possibly, perhaps, at least implement some small gift.
That's incredible. First off, thank you. Thank you so much for that extremely high compliment. I really appreciate that. And you're absolutely right. I think that is so important to share with people, you know, a bit about yourself so you can affect them. Isn't that the point? We want to be affected in this world, you know. And every time I've seen you talk, anytime we've had a conversation, I feel affected, and it's always so amazing. So thank you. One more question, like I'm gonna do your 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Dan's notorious for
That's a tip I learned from
minutes.
you, by the way. Tips from Tia. 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. I want to let people know, like, how are you preparing for this? Because you're so dynamic. I mean, you just sit down and I don't know if you practice or if this is all like right in there and it just comes out, but it's really incredible.
Yeah. So as of now, I haven't prepared. I guess preparing is I've thought like I'm going to be in Delaware next week and it's going to be an honor to be on stage. I don't put too much thought into it, to be honest with you, because I try to stay very present as to what I'm doing. You know, if there's an interesting statistic I read years ago in the Wall Street Journal, and it said that out of a person's complete thought process, what consumes a person's mind 24/7, 40% of what a person thinks about is in the past on things that we can't change. Another 40% of what consumes the person's mind is speculation on future events that actually will, in fact, not happen to you. Not maybe could. They actually will not happen. So think about it. 80% of our total thought process is stuff we can't change in the past that already happened or stuff that's not going to happen. Now, out of the remaining 20%, 12% may or may not happen, may be good, may be bad, but it's not enough to even worry about one way or the other. Am I going to eat here today Chinese or am I going to have Mexican? Like it's not that big of a deal. And then the 8% is the stuff we really need to focus on. That's the stuff you got to really think about. Some people will talk about the Pareto principle, right? The 80-20 rule. Well, I even go from the 20% to the 8%. What's the 8% that's going to move the needle the most, right? And so I don't do it until I try to be very present. So I know that coming to Delaware, meeting with you and Dan, and being able to be a part of the TEDx stage, that's part of my 8%. But I haven't gotten there yet. I have an idea of what I'm going to speak on, and my goal is a few days prior to organize it and to put it in a format that I think can impart that gift. But I try not to spend too much time on it until we're a little closer. But I will be well enough prepared that I will certainly not do any injustice to the privilege it is to speak for you.
Excellent. Yeah, it's so amazing to see people's process because, some people, I've been talking to people for a little while now, and some people are like, I haven't even started it yet. Other people are like, I have my title, and then other people are like, I've been working on it. I've rewritten it 10
On
times already. And, it's such an honor to be in that red circle, and to be part of this alumni. Nobody can ever take it away from you. It holds high prestige, so that's the cool part. And you do, like you said, you want to do it justice. But also it's stuff you already know, and these are ideas worth spreading to others. So I love everything that you and I have ever talked about. And, I always ask people, what do you like? What kind of impact do you want this talk to have on the world? But you're already impacting the world. So, is there any other specific impact that you want this to have? Or, do you want to share with others? Because I think there's a lot of people sitting there saying, well, I don't even know how to impact the world. Tell me how to do that.
That's a great point. I think we think about the basic fundamentals of impact, right? Or let's even talk about a different part of impact, which is going to be necessary for global impact, which is going to be generational type wealth, right? If we want to make a global impact, how much did Bitcoin spend educating people on what crypto was and developing their blockchain, right? You think about these pioneers in their industries, like it's going to take a lot of money to actually have a dent the world on a daily basis, right? And have that big impact. So if we think about something like wealth creation, most of us think about those basic fundamentals, right? Have a good product or service, make sure there's value, have great customer service, take care of your clients. Certainly all those things are part of the recipe. But if you truly want to make a global impact, there's a piece that people are missing. And I do this a lot in my own companies is people have 95% of the dots right. They're just missing a couple of small little things that they couldn't connect. And it was the same for me. I had most things right, but there was just a couple of dots I just could not connect without the proper help. And when we connect those dots, it's vertical growth, right? And so, and what I've also found is people learn by great storytelling. I think they say some of the most successful people in the world at some point become just high-paid storytellers. And so I'm going to tell a really interesting story that I think that people don't have to remember all the little business points I say, but if they can just remember the story and go out and start retelling the story, it's going to really connect those dots for them and help them to be able to accomplish, where they want to go. And of course, as a result, impact more people.
It's incredible. Incredible. Thank you so much, Dan. I just truly appreciate you taking the time. You are like one of the busiest people I know. Can I actually share this? The man
Sure.
gets 1,500 emails a day.
Yeah.
Wow. And they're not spam. They're not spam. That's the important part to remember. But
Yeah.
no, thank you. It means the world to me that you took time. It means the world that you're coming to Delaware. When you come to Delaware, what are you looking forward to doing? Is there something on your list?
Well, I want to hit some really cool local spots. What is there to learn? I mean, I know the traditional things that people think about Delaware, what I got to see before I leave. I haven't been there in many, many years. So I want to get with somebody that knows their way around the town. And what I'm really looking for is I'm looking for tips from Tia. I want to
That's
know what's to do before I leave that town. And I want to get a good flavor of the town. And I'm looking forward, especially to connecting with fellow entrepreneurs and business leaders and getting on the ground and talking about how we can add value to each other. And I'm very excited.
That's excellent. Well, we are so glad to have you coming in town. Um, just I can't wait. I can't wait. We're going to talk right after your talk as well on Saturday, April 29th, and you're going to tell me how everything went. But I'm going to tell people now that tickets are still available. You can go click the link below. Dan, if you have any links you want me to share, I'll make sure I get them on as well. Thank you again so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you very much. I look forward to connecting with you, being able to break some bread, and I look forward to having some great time with my fellow entrepreneurs in Delaware next week.